Hello and welcome, Chuck. Oh, for Christ's sake.
APV Services, Lavazzi at book1.co.uk present the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 482. I'm Adam, and I did have a quote, but I lost it. And here's Robert Haynes.
Oh,
Hi.
I am the master.
Are you?
And you will learn to like me when you get to know me.
Deborah Melrose.
Do you not use euros yet?
Nice one. Mary Lang.
Why sit at home alone in your room? Hear the music play.
Kirby, Bartlett, Sloane.
And I doubt we will ever, as the doctor promised me, reach the place he calls Bognor Regis. And that's for L&T Butcher.
Splendid. I nearly got cramp then. We've had a few things coming through on the live feed, which is currently residing on the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast Facebook group, which you can join. So I'm going to read what people have been saying. I've got 8 comments. Oh, they closed. There we go. Oh, it says it's got 8 comments, but I can only see 4. That's weird. Let's look them on here then. I have a facility. Right, Ben Shoveler was watching. I tried to get him on, but he obviously isn't in his man cave at the moment. Lillian said the video had no sound when it did. Ben Shoveler says, I can hear, which he did. Terry Miles says, sound is okay. Lillian says, I'm trying to scroll up, yet the camera's on the side where my thumb's going. Lillian Robin says, sound okay now. And then, just you and Ben this week. And obviously not. And then Terry says, hi Lillian Robin. And then Alan T. Butcher said, Inquest Dead. I think that's the wrong answer, Alan. Inquest Dead. And then Unquiet Dead, he corrected himself. And then Ben said, are you calling? The answer to that is, yes, I was calling, Ben. Do you want me to call again? Virtual hugs all from Laurie. And is that Ben? No, not yet. And then Lillian says, lol. Terry Miles says, good evening, everybody. Ben says still here. Right, so let's see if we can get him on. This will be entertaining. He won't know what the hell we're talking about, but it's just like it used to be. Right then, what's his name? Ben Shoveler.
Shoveler.
Bun. Oh, that's not it. Let's try. Oh, it came up then when I said that's not it. Right, let's try this.
That's what she said.
Indeed. It's got a green light, so this is promising. I'm trying again, Ben. He's in his shed. He's in his shed waiting. This room is the equivalent to my shed, which I don't have. Anyway.
Well, I'm in my shed.
How long are you allowed to be in your shed for this week, Ben?
Till about 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Whoa, that's not bad.
2 sheds shoveler.
No, very good.
That's excellent.
All right.
Hold on, just let me sort a few things out so I can hear you properly.
He's going to sort some things out so you can hear us properly.
Like turning up the volume.
Yeah.
Well, you're on my phone at the moment, so
Am I?
It's not massively loud. But
Can we do another round of quotes?
Yeah. Can we?
No. Because Ben won't have one.
I've just hated all mine.
Am I feeding back massively?
No, it's not feedback. It's not feedback. It's just you sound like you're slightly more distant than the rest of them.
He's in his
Kirby's old
distant
laptop.
now.
He's in his TARDIS burning up a sun.
Yes.
I thought you had daughters, Ben.
Sorry?
I thought you had daughters.
I have 2 daughters.
Yeah, so why would you be burning up the sun?
Because I didn't want a son. I only wanted daughters, so I could pay for their marriages. Some little 16-year-old boy running around impregnating people like I did.
Yeah. Deary me.
They say you learn from your mistakes, and so therefore so far I've killed 7 sons. So
Wow.
yeah, all murdered.
That's a novel in itself. Sounds like an episode of what's that?
Game of Thrones.
No, the other one, the one where the village where they're Midsummer.
Midsummer Murders,
Midsummer
yeah.
Hey, I've got the best idea in the world how to save Doctor Who.
What?
Do you want to hear it now? Because this is
Yes.
this will probably shape the entire
This is
episode
gold.
of the
This
podcast.
is gold. Yeah.
Yeah,
go
go
on.
on.
Oh, this is Doctor Who gold. This is like proper David Tennant stuff.
So spill.
Right. So everybody knows. Everyone can totally agree that recently Doctor Who has been a little bit rubbish. Since it's come back in those glorious days of 2000,
Yes.
it was rather fine, and it's been like a slide. If you imagine when Doctor Who came back in 2000, it was the top of the slide, and now it's kind of the bit of the slide that's buried so far in the playground that you can't actually touch it anymore. Whether that's because of the stories, it's because of the stories, or because of the actors. It might be because of the actors. Bradley Walsh. All right, he's a nice bloke, but seriously, Doctor Who. And how are they bringing into it? Who got announced this week?
That will be Mr. Bishop, wasn't it?
Yeah,
John
John Bishop.
John Bishop, that's it.
Right, so, hey, Doctor, there's a Cyberman over there. That's gonna be brilliant. So we all know it's gone a bit rubbish. It's not as good as it was. I think that's got to be agreed. Everyone agree with that? Hands up if you don't. Excellent. Didn't see your hands. No.
Well, I don't know anything about Mr. Bishop, so
You were saying he was hot last week, Mary.
Vegan.
He's a Liverpudlian comedian who's been famous for about 10, 15 years now. And he came from doing not a lot to being a famous comedian. And now he's obviously taking up acting and thinks...
And he's got a shed load of money too.
Well, yeah, exactly. Now he has. So the way to revive Doctor Who, the way to get the viewers back, because the viewing figures are a bit rubbish again. Was it 4 million watched the Christmas one? Did I see that?
About the same as normal, really, but yes.
Well, you say same as normal.
Yeah.
Same as normal now.
Yeah.
It
Not
wasn't
same
on
as normal
Christmas.
10 years ago.
Yes, because more people watched TV as it went out 10 years ago. Now people are streaming things through Netflix and all that malarkey.
Yes, I appreciate that, but I fail to believe that it's had a 6 million drop-off of people now watching it on Netflix. I don't believe that in this country. Figures don't add up. Fewer people watch it. So, the way to make it good again, firstly, you rehire Christopher Eccleston. Wait.
Yeah.
Secondly, you
Wait.
rehire... Sorry? Am I hearing mutterings from the back?
No, just like the way you're going, wait.
At the moment, I'm seeing myself in the Houses of Parliament. I haven't raided them. I haven't just gone in there and just riot. I've been invited.
I have
I'm
locked
not
the front door
American.
if anybody's going to storm this house, by the way. So,
Exactly. Secondly, you bring back Russell T Davies.
that'd be nice.
Thirdly,
Oh,
you
yes.
bring back
Wondrous.
Julie, what's her name, who was the producer at the time? Julie
Gardner. Gardner, yes.
That's the one.
Yes.
Then what you do is you suspend the current series, if you like,
Yes.
and you go back and you get Russell T Davies and all the good writers who wrote the first couple of series when it was really good, because I was watching some of them on one of the cable channels earlier, and they're just fantastic. I was watching The Family of Blood, actually. It is brilliant. So what you do is you fill in the gap between the War Doctor and when we met the Ninth Doctor in Rose, because there were all of those stories that, how much time was he there for? Who knows? But if you remember in the first episode, when they went to see Clive, he had pictures of the Doctor in loads of different...
That's a good point.
So there's loads of time that you could say that, it's a time show, it's a bloody time machine. Make as much time as you like. So there's all that time of him being the Doctor that we don't know about. So go back and write the stories with a Doctor that people want to see more of, and there's not one person
Hey,
who
Ben.
would Christopher Eccleston back as the Doctor. Not that he'll come back, but I know. But there
Ben.
you go. That's
He's on
how
a
you
roll.
say it. Yes, mate.
Ben, you know who wrote some episodes of the first series?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've never had
Stephen Moffat.
I've never had a problem with his writing of the episodes when he wasn't in charge of it. The
Right.
episodes he wrote, because he wrote some
He did the best
fantastic episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I could never deny that. I just didn't think his time in charge of the show, it's like the power went to his head and he went a little bit mad with it. And
Yeah,
he
I
changed
agree.
too much, and that's led on to Chris Chippendale changing everything, and whoever's in charge now deciding that actually we want to rewrite the show completely.
Yeah.
The
Which
best way of recovering the show is get rid of Chibnall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I completely agree, absolutely. But if you bring back Russell T Davies, it gives it its direction where it was originally going back, and it's almost like a reset. And then after a couple of series or a couple of years of doing the Christopher Eccleston stuff, when he's had enough again, so in about 10 episodes' time, then you can go back to bringing in the Doctor after that bloke Jodie, whatever his name is.
Yeah, but we always said we wanted more Paul McGann on screen as well. So
Well,
Right,
again,
right.
that's a complete
Yeah.
possibility with this. Take it back to the McGann era then.
Yeah.
He's down for that.
Yeah. Well,
Who wouldn't watch
just
that?
because it would give us more of the war, Yeah.
oh yeah, maybe as a spin-off series, perhaps.
Well, no, see, that's the thing. I was thinking about that. You could do it as a spin-off series, but
Yeah.
I think if they were going to do a spin-off series of Doctor Who, they'd have done, I don't know, something crazy, like put a female Doctor in the TARDIS or something. not try and bring down the original series by doing that. But no, I think you can do it as the original series, because I don't think there's anyone who watches it who couldn't relate or understand what they'd done. They're just going to go, right, we're holding that, and oh, look at this, we've found the further adventures, or the unknown, whatever you want. Well, just bloody call it Doctor Who. No one will care.
Well, it's what Big Finish does. They fill in a lot of the gaps with.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, quite right. So why not do it on television? It's not as though they haven't got the means of doing it, and if they've got the right people to do it and they do it properly, it will drag the ratings back up because it would be good again. You watch the episodes that went out in the last series, and
We're going to be doing that anyway, Ben, because we're just about to embark on that bit with Rose next week.
Yes, I heard that you were going to start doing that again, and
Yes.
I thought, ooh, I know about these ones. But yeah, I mean, just.
But Ben, what do you say to the fact that Christopher Eccleston had a lot of problems with the people that were running it originally? That's why he left. So I don't know what those problems were, but I don't know if he'd want to get back together with the same people again.
Well, in my mind, he would. Especially if you put a big check in front of him with lots of noughts on it. I'm sure he wouldn't mind
After all,
going back to
he's
work.
doing Big Finish now, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. It's one of those. He said he'd never do anything Doctor Who again. And he's
Yeah.
doing Big Finish. His head's being turned by it. If you went to him with some cracking scripts, I mean, who was it? It wasn't the fact he didn't get on with Russell T Davies or Julie Gardner. It was some people. I think it was the BBC hierarchy he didn't like.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it
I
was.
think if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I may just be guessing at it, but I'm pretty sure it was the BBC that he had an issue with, not the Doctor Who people. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me, and I'll stand corrected.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because has he ever talked about it?
Yes, he has. Yeah, there's been a couple of things he said about it. In the last, I don't know. I mean, everything flows into each other, doesn't it? I mean, how long did last year last? I mean, 25 minutes, half an hour. I mean. Within the last couple of years, I'm sure I've seen an interview with Eccleston where he said, kind of what the issues were. Tell you what, I'm sat in front of a laptop. It's just got my FIFA game on it at the moment. If you want to carry on a discussion with something else, I'm in the middle of a game. I'm beating West Ham. No, I'm not. I'm beating Chelsea 2-1. Who am I? I'm Newcastle for some strange reason. I wanted to be Southampton, but they won't let me transfer to Southampton.
What FIFA is that, Ben?
FIFA 21.
Anyway, let's move on to Doctor Who. God's sake.
So, let me see if I can find out why.
Anyway, for the viewers, listeners, etc., we're going to be reviewing Scream of the Shalka. While Ben's doing that, I'm going to just play this piece of music.
I love
This theme tune is absolutely superb.
Yes.
Isla was absolutely over the moon about the thing.
Well, I loved it until I had to hear it 12 times.
Yeah.
And then I got
You didn't have to hear it 12 times.
It's almost like they made the Eccleston theme tune a bit of a remix of it to a certain degree, but it is absolutely superb. Really, really good.
You had to have it 12 times because you can't really scroll on the 24-hour movement because you then get adverts.
Right.
No, I have
Ad
the
blocker.
DVD.
I have a DVD.
I don't care what you have, but I watched it on the same place Debbie did, and it keeps starting over with the new, the beginning and the ending music.
I knew what you meant. I was simply saying you didn't have
You're just gloating because you've got a DVD and we had the
right.
By the way, Lillian Robbins says go back and film the missing stories. That'd be a good thing to do as well.
Yeah.
With,
we do that.
I've said that before, haven't I?
Let's do
I've
it.
said that before.
Or just the one, just incorporate the missing stories into New Who and imagine they haven't actually happened.
I think last time I was on at Christmas we were talking about that because I said as you've got what's his name, the bloke who played the first Doctor in
David Bradley.
David Brett. Yeah.
That's it. And now people see him as the first Doctor of our kind of like age. So therefore, there would be someone you would be able to slip into, if pardon the expression, Patrick Troughton. And I mean, God, just don't even think about that. And now he's been dead years, but that's irrelevant. So you get someone who could play Patrick Troughton in the same way. You could quite easily remake all of the lost stories.
Yeah.
And I think, and they'd be in colour, they'd be updated. I think that'd be a bloody excellent idea, quite frankly.
Indeed.
But obviously, money's
hopefully, you never know.
I've found answers to our questions. If you want
yes.
Okay. Christopher Eccleston left Doctor Who after one season as the Doctor in 2005. He's recently become more open to about his discussion to leave the fan favourite show. I'm reading this off Den of Geek, by the way. So
good.
Copyright.
I'll change a few of the words so it's no longer copyrighted. Shouting to a group of Star Trek fans gathered in a Los Angeles. God, what's another Comic-Con thing? If only I could think of one that I've done within the last 2 years. Anyway, Eccleston gave some context to his time on Doctor Who. I left because my relationship with the showrunner and the producer broke down. I left because of the politics of the show. I left only because of those three individuals and the way they were running the show. I'm contradicting myself massively. Yeah. I love playing the character and I love the world. I felt I'm going to play Doctor my way and I'm not going to get involved in these politics. And that wasn't workable. So off I went and became the Invisible Man. At the time, Russell T Davies was acting as showrunner, Julie Garden, Phil Collinson as executive producers. At the time, I was seen as a very social realist actor. No sense of humour, no laughs. The fact I was not exactly their idea appealed to them, I think, Eccleston notably said. He kept his working class accent for the role of first for the Doctor, set new precedent, Capaldi, blah, blah, blah. In a sense, I treated it like another job. I think it's fair to say Tennant, who came after me, understood that much more than me, the size of the show. I was thinking about him as a character, and this is a job that I will do, which the page just bloody moved. Seriously? Where's that gone? I was doing so well. There we go. I was thinking about him as a character and this as a job that I will do, which worked for me, but there's always pressure. In the UK, they never talk about positives. When I left, all they wanted to talk about was why I left. They never wanted to talk about the fact I did 13 episodes. You know, we have a tradition of the gutter press of the UK, and I had to deal with them. I lost my confidence, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, all right, so it was because apparently of the three of them. And, well, it sounded like he wanted to play the Doctor in a certain way, and they wanted him to not.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
But, yeah, mate, apart from that, my idea is absolutely wonderful.
Anyway,
Maybe
thank
they
you,
could
Ben.
get someone who looks like Christopher Eccleston, like they did with the first Doctor.
Well, the thing is, though, we have since discovered with Star Trek that you don't have to have the same actor to play the same part, because Spock has now been played by so many different actors, and it works every time if the actor can get the portrayal right. And
but that's generations of it, though, isn't it? I mean, you've got a young Spock and an old Spock, like you've got the old Kirk and the young Kirk, and I don't think, you know, because the Doctor doesn't age in that respect, you're not going to be able to get someone else to play the ninth Doctor, because it would then be another person playing the Doctor. And I think that I don't think that would work. I think
it worked with David Bradley. You never know. And you could sort of say that Sean Pertwee looks like John Pertwee, and he probably can do a really good impression of him. So you could probably get away with that.
Can I mention something then?
Yes.
Because what about using deep fake?
Yes, that's true.
Using that technology.
Yeah, we certainly could do that.
It worked for Luke Skywalker.
It did. Or it did look a bit glazed over to a certain extent.
Yeah,
but
but have you seen the memes doing the round of people saying, those of you who complained about the Luke Skywalker CGI didn't have to deal with the bad Scorpion King in the second...
Oh, God.
Oh, yes.
That was awful.
Anyway, back to we're going to do Scream with Shalka now, but I'm just going to say what people have been saying on the live feed. Andy Nunny, I think he's awake. Oh, he would be because it's dry January, isn't it? He said, "Is that the Orbital version?" He's talking about the Orbital theme tune. No, it's not the Orbital version, but that's another really good version of the theme. And then Robert Vance Jr. said, "Hi all, hey Ben." And then Lillian Robbins said, "You ever going to talk about Shalka?" We're just about to do that, funny enough, Lillian. Good segue. Okay, right, so the Scream of the Shalka begins with a little scene.
The title sequence.
Yeah, we've done that, but little scene in a wasteland where something weird happens, so like a zombie sort of... Oh, no, it's not a zombie, it's like a hippie-type character, and... a bloke in a jacket, and then there's some volcanic action going on. I'm trying to skip through this story, and then
it's not volcanic. It's a meteor.
It's still volcanic because a meteor has created some seismic features, and it's caused lava to come to the surface. And in the hole is this sort of creepy, sort of lizardy, sort of octopusy style eye. And then the TARDIS arrives in a different part of the planet. Now, the thing I wanted to point out, of course, that the Doctor is played by Richard E. Grant, which has now, him and Paul McGann have now become the only two actors to play the Doctor in two different stories. So there you go. Other than, well, yeah, I'm right. They've only done two stories, but there's a similarity there, apart from the fact that when Richard E. Grant played the Doctor in Curse of the Fatal Death, or whatever it's called, he didn't look like a vampire Dracula type thing. So I'm presuming...
Can I just point out, Adam?
Yeah?
Can I just point out, Chelsea have just equalised, it's 2-2.
Marvellous. So that, like I say, I envisioned in my mind, because I like to tie these things up, there's a point, I think, in The Curse of the Fatal Death, where the Doctor goes round the corner.
Second the.
What?
There's no second the.
I don't give a tinker's cuss. Anyway, there's a point in which he disappears from shot for a split second, and that's the time he goes to Earth to do this story before going back and then regenerating into whoever he regenerated into. I lost track of who he did. Anyway, so he's arrived. He's on his own.
Master.
Apart from there's a master in the TARDIS that we don't know about at this point.
Master.
What?
Richard E. Grant has also been in Doctor Who separately as the Great Intelligence, remember?
I do remember that, yes. Right then. Andy Nunny says, saw them live at Gilfest. Oh, yeah, the band he's talking about, yes. And then Robert Vance Jr. said, I wish Zachary played Spock in Discovery. Anyway, so the Doctor goes into this pub, and behind the bar is a very good cartoon version of... Is it the actress that played Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, or whatever, the 12th, or it was in...
Elizabeth X.
Yeah, same actress. And she's very well known. She's very sort of... she's come a long way since doing this particular story.
Was she nominated for an Academy Award, or did she win an Academy Award?
No, nominated.
Oh.
Just nominated.
Yeah.
Still, she was in Doctor Who first.
Yes.
And obviously she's straight away companion fodder, while the Doctor sort of frequents himself with the establishment and the characters. And while they're sort of faffing around, a creature is watching them. And I'm not trying to paraphrase through this story because I don't want to linger on it too long. And then the Doctor, while sort of skulking through the streets at night, finds this little old lady, a little crone.
I like her.
Seems to know quite a lot. It was a few weeks ago.
Cats was going to be another one of my quotes.
I thought Mary was going to use that.
And it's quite interesting that the Doctor puts his hand in his pocket to find some currencies to bribe the lady with. And in his hand, bearing in mind how old this story is, it was an SD card as a currency. I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
You know what it also reminded me of? That scene in Battlefield.
Yeah.
He hands over that those coins and that.
Yeah, that's probably where they nicked it from.
Yeah, Fred liked that.
Yes. Anyway, so meanwhile, I'm just moving forward a little bit. If I've missed anything, please tell me. I suppose the rest of episode 1 is basically him.
Oh, if only
sort of
Kirsty could have joined us, and you really wouldn't miss anything.
Don't forget, did you get the feedback from Kirsty?
We'll talk about that later. Where are we up to? So yeah, he's making friends with this woman and the bloke, and then right at the end of the episode, a couple of scary aliens appear.
See, I don't know where the episode breaks are. Because mine is
15 minutes in. Each episode's about 15 minutes. Well, episode 1's about 15, episode 2's about 10. So
I guess you aren't watching a DVD either. You're watching it some.
I'm watching a DVD which has the
I watched the
episodes on it.
DVD.
Yeah.
Oh, my DVD only has one version, which is a straight-through version.
Oh dear.
That's weird.
Well, that's not the proper DVD.
No, mine's the Doctor Who animation collection.
Okay. They did it differently for that.
They did it differently. And the weird thing, I was very frustrated because it says that I could watch these digitally through Vudu, and I had signed up ages ago. I had not noticed that of all the stories on these 2 DVDs, only Shalka is not digital.
Oh.
The others are.
Wonder why.
I do apologise to the listeners for having to go through about 5 minutes of stuff that's got absolutely nothing to do with the synopsis of the story.
Extras, Kirby?
No, I have no extras. I managed to get the extras through other means.
Okay.
Another 5 minutes gone. Right then. So the Doctor uses a roasting dish to deflect some power and legs it. They all run, and then he sets a little bomb or an explosive off.
Little what?
A bomb. A bomb.
Big one.
Which blows a whole row of houses. Hopefully nobody got injured in the blast, but
that's true.
Allows them to, yes. Then he moves the TARDIS to where the Master that moves the TARDIS? Somebody moves the TARDIS. I can't remember now.
The Master.
No, it falls down, doesn't it?
Does it? Or through the hole?
It goes down the hole.
Yeah.
Oh, it went down the hole, but it landed in a very appropriate sort of like walkway.
Hill sorts of bit underneath.
And then it just goes into the hole. And it's like
that's what she said.
Oh, goodness.
Whoa.
What? What's
Did
the matter,
they
Ben?
ever explain the Master, or was the idea to explain him later?
I think
Hang
they
on.
did
Really
later, but
explain
Hang on. Ben, I think, wants to make an objection. No, he doesn't. That's good then. I was going to overrule it anyway.
Get your own catchphrases, mate.
I'm sorry, but as that catchphrase in this context here on this show first.
Podcast's catchphrase now. The whole podcast
At
is.
least I have a legacy. That's what she said.
Right, so the Master, we find there at this point the Master is inside the TARDIS, quite well sort of represented on screen, and the voice, of course, again, the Master for a second time, played by, well, first time in this instance, Derek Jacobi.
Yay!
Brilliant. He was the best thing about this.
So I quite like that. And I will say now that I really like this concept of the Master being the Doctor's companion.
I did.
That was really,
But
really
he
cool.
did look a bit like a fembot robot.
He did a what?
What?
A fembot
At the
robot.
beginning of Austin Powers 2, when Vanessa's revealed as a fembot, the face of the robot is identical.
No spoilers there for any of us who've never seen Austin Powers before.
Oh my God!
Also, the Bionic Woman.
What about Sarah Jane's face when her android one falls off?
No spoilers for people who haven't seen Doctor Who from 1972.
Thanks.
Robert Bench Jr. says mud packs for everybody.
Oh.
The listeners heard that one, Robert, so don't worry. Right then. So the Doctor then goes and meets a soldier, which they could have made. No, a soldier that we know better from Doctor Who, but no, they create a new character for the Doctor to bicker with.
Was that unit or not?
I think it was not.
Not, I don't think.
And then another monster appears at the end of episode for the cliffhanger. Episode 3 is 12 minutes long. And a funny thing is that every episode has got the Doctor looking like a vampire, so I was half expecting some blood to appear at some point in him here sort of to go
Odd
Children
design
of the night,
choice.
what music they make. Yeah.
I quite like the way that the TARDIS interior looked as well. That was quite nicely
Why
designed.
wouldn't the Doctor be doing an impression of Hannibal Lecter?
Well, if he's a vampire, yes.
Was Hannibal Lecter a vampire, Adam?
Partially. I mean, he liked human meat.
Oh.
Now, I would have thought
That's
blood
cannibal.
would be part of that.
No, that's not a vampire. That's a cannibal.
Cannibalism.
That's a cannibal.
Well, isn't drinking blood, human blood, slightly cannibalistic?
Yes, we're not talking about being cannibalistic. We're talking about being...
Oh, be quiet.
Yeah, was Hannibal Lecter an undead?
I'm sorry to be so finicky, Adam, but I mean...
No, it's pedantic.
Be pedantic, own it.
Yes.
Own it.
Anyway, I'm losing the plot here. Right then, so I got through the end of episode 3 with not a lot happening, and I've just accidentally closed down my DVD player, which is a bit of a pain, because now I've got to wait for it to reload.
That's very helpful.
So, it's just reloaded, fortunately for me, in the right place. That's good. Right then, so episode 4
It
begins
remembers.
with
My DVD player remembers.
And I don't know if the Master's sort of like trying to con the Shalka people into believing he's going to help them out.
Maybe.
Eh?
Would be the first time.
Anyway, at some
It's
point...
unclear what the Master is trying to do. You get the idea that maybe he is, maybe he
I'll be
isn't.
back in a sec.
There's a point in which...
I'm afraid that I'm about to die.
Yes, that's how I feel, funny. And that's my quote. I'm afraid that I'm about to... Just didn't that sound like Paul McGann when he did that line, funny enough. And there's a point where the Doctor, I think, looks like Doctor Strange, to be fair, is flying like Superman. And then he says, I'm afraid I'm about to die. He doesn't die.
He's not flying, he's falling through a black hole.
Yeah.
Yes, I know this.
Which should have caused some sort of time dilation, but it doesn't.
Oh dear, that's a shame. And anyway, he turns up in the TARDIS, which now contains the Master.
No, he changes his little cell phone into the TARDIS because it's part of the TARDIS.
Right, so does he not then end up in the TARDIS then?
Yes, because
So
the cell
I was
phone
right.
is part of the TARDIS.
God's sake. Anyway, so we've got blah, 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 blah.
I think I'm back.
Thank you, blah, 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 blah.
Front and sides, too.
Oh, I've lost the plot with this. And then the episode, and then everything's all very good after that. I can't remember. Anybody know the plot? Because
he tricks the Queen one
the Queen
to,
one.
to stand right in front of that black hole,
Yes.
and while he manoeuvres himself where the controls are for it, so the creature gets sucked in,
Yes.
and then because he swallowed a bit of the Shalka creature,
Yes.
he reprogrammed it while it was inside his body,
Yeah.
and then he sticks it into Alison's forehead.
No,
I remember that
that's
bit.
later.
That was quite good.
That's way later.
The end.
Yes, all right, I don't mind. That's fine. If anybody
He
wants to
just
talk
asked
about
how-
anything I might not have spoken
Did
about.
anybody know the plot? What happened?
Yes, thank you. So have I missed anything? Has anything been missed?
That's like 20 minutes later.
Oh dear,
Robert.
how sad. Kirby, is there anything you want to talk about then, of the stuff that was missed? Kirby,
What?
is there anything you'd like to talk about
I
between?
don't understand why you're skipping around.
Because I've sort of lost track of things. It's very difficult to follow actually when skipping through the DVD, and I haven't watched it for about 4 weeks, and I've sort of slightly forgotten.
I told you why did you watch it back then, didn't I?
Because I thought we were going to do an episode, and a certain person in my house said we weren't, and I had to go along with that particular. So yeah, anybody like to talk about features of the plot that they liked or anything? Before?
Yeah, David Tennant shows up.
Does he?
Very briefly.
Does he?
Yes.
Go on then. When?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was recording something in the studio next door,
Mhm.
and he heard that they
Yeah,
were doing
Doctor
Doctor Who. So he's one of the two guards as all the people are approaching
Warehouse.
the warehouse.
Oh, does he sound like David Tennant?
Yes,
Yeah.
Scottish David
Noticed
Tennant.
that.
Ah.
I didn't notice.
Oh, cool. I didn't notice that
I'd
either.
give you a timestamp so you could listen. But
No, thank you. Kirby. 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 Well done. Anything else?
Eventually, when they take what's her name, Allison,
Yeah.
the Shalka, with every group of humans, they take one of them and they put the creature into the head,
Yes.
and they're the leader. And it's only later that the Doctor pulls it out and reprograms it.
Oh, pulls
what
it out.
out?
At the very end.
Oh, sorry.
That's what she said.
Robert Vance Jr. says the zombie. Sorry, Robert. He's talked over. He's got a thing about your feedback at the moment, Robert. I do apologise. Nothing to do with me. It's Kirby. Okay, so you can send your complaints to Mr. K. Bartlett Sloan. I'll PM his address to you. Then you can. Yes, sorry,
Fred
Kirby.
did not like the little creature sticking out of the forehead.
Who didn't?
I didn't either.
I thought it was cool.
It was gross.
It was gross.
No, I thought it was great.
I kept thinking, where's Dr. Pimple Popper?
Oh, yuck.
I'll have another go, Robert, doing your feedback. Not feedback, your comment. The zombie worm looking people screaming out loud. The caretaker, and then Robert says David Tennant voice. And that's about it. So, sorry about that, Robert. Scott, I think Kirby's obviously got a thing about talking over your comments, so we'll see how far that goes. Yes, Kirby, carry on.
I don't know what else to carry on.
Oh, good. That means we've come to the end of it. Right then, so, now, when I was watching this umpteen years ago, a few weeks ago, I have to say that when I thought, oh, God, I've got to sit through this. Who had this stupid idea of watching Scream of the Shalka, I have to do this via being a completionist. But I will say, because the episodes are 10, 15 minutes long, I didn't find it at all painful to actually watch the story. I actually was quite engaged with the voice acting was superb. I quite liked the fact that a lot of the design, even though it was drawn, the design of the neighbourhoods and the TARDIS, etc., etc. I didn't like the drawing of the Doctor. I thought, yes, he does definitely look like a vampire. That's the only thing that sort of really lets it down. But acting-wise and story-wise, I thought it was actually quite good. I think maybe Chris Chibnall should watch this to maybe get some ideas on how Doctor Who can be done without any actual filming via live action or CGI. And
it was better than 3/4 of the Chibnall story.
It was. It wasn't bad at all, and it was a delight to have Richard E. Grant's voice as the Doctor. I thought he was very, very good, and of course the master played by Sir Derek Jacobi. And if the Americans can actually say his name right, we'll choose one of them to talk about it next. Go on, Em.
Derek Jacobi.
Well,
Sir.
Right, Kirby. So, what did you think of it then?
I'm mixed about it. First of all, it's an hour and 15 minutes straight through with no breaks. So
well, it isn't though.
So I couldn't break it up like that. And I've now watched it 4 times.
Oh my God!
I like the
what you need.
It's so quotable. I love the writing and
great writing in it.
And the voice actors are great.
Yeah.
I just got a little bit sick of the screaming.
You're right. You said screaming enough now, Kirby.
There was just way too much of that. I think they could have eliminated a whole episode.
Kirby, it's called Scream of the Shalka.
They could have eliminated some of that.
I didn't like the bits with the Shalka. I think they should have got rid of that.
Who's screaming?
For what it was well done, and I actually enjoyed it better this time than the first time I saw it, which was probably 10 years ago or so, on the BBC website in these short segments, because that really made it tedious.
Okay, well, thank you, Kirby. I nearly thought of something to say in regards to that. Well, I can't remember it now. Maybe I'll remember it later.
And Robert, it is still available on the BBC website.
Yes, okay, thank you. Robert Vance Jr. says, I'm glad they changed direction with the with RTD Hyde in 2004. Robert Haynes, what did you think?
Yeah, I must say I wasn't particularly looking forward to going to watch it, and at the start I was thinking, I don't know, because I guess we get a bit spoiled with some of the animations that they produce now.
Yes.
So it's like watching a step back with that. And also,
This
like,
was Cosgrove Hall, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but they did have a shortened time to sort of like do it though as well.
Yeah.
They might. I will point out before you carry on, where it is 6 parts that are between 10 and 15 minutes. It would have been better to have a 4-part story that was 25 minutes, maybe. I don't know. Just saying.
Yeah, maybe could be that.
Or one long story of an hour.
Funny they don't have that option on the DVD that they did. And also, like, as you mentioned, the design of the Doctor, but like the David Tennant and Matt Smith, like flippancy, the way that they go around, even Eccleston, and the way everything's like quick, do this, and it sort of reminded me a bit like that. And I thought, oh, that's a bit stale now, which they've been doing with bloody Jodie Whittaker now, and just can't they do some other portrayal of the Doctor? They don't have to talk fast all the time. They don't have to be flippant. They don't have to have so-called humour in there. But then I realised, well, at the time, that was kind of fresh, so I sort of not worry about that. And I didn't mind it actually in the end, and I quite liked Reg's performance. I thought he did quite a good job, and only guy I didn't like was that hippie sort of guy at the start. He was a bit I don't know whether it's his voice acting or what, or the way he was directed or the lines, but he just it's like a punch in the face type guy. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Otherwise, it was okay. But towards the end, maybe it could have been shortened a bit, I think, for an animation. Anyway.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Robert Vance Jr. says, I remember Dreamland being broken up. Right then, oh yes, Ben, have you ever watched Scream of the Shalka?
Yeah, I saw Scream of the Shalka, like some of you would have done back on the BBC website when it first came out.
Yeah.
Which was how many years ago?
2003.
Yeah, a long time ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, an awful lot's happened in my life, and I can't even remember what you're talking about.
I thought that might be the answer.
Surprising.
For posterity's sake,
yeah,
it was all right.
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah. That's what we like to hear. Right, now, while Deb's laughing so heartily, I think it'd be appropriate to go over and, first of all, check
all the catchphrases.
Check that we got our newest catchphrase, how's your dicky ticker?
That's rubbish. I'm sorry. As the original catchphraser, that's rubbish.
No, I think it's a really good catchphrase. We've got a load of catchphrases since you left the show, Ben, and they're all really shiny catchphrases.
No, Ben, every time I make it on, I'm asked that because it's a triumph at the moment.
Anyway, so we presume Dicky Ticket is okay, and we have Deborah Melrose.
Dicky Ticket's doing okay, thank you very much.
Well,
no
must be okay. You haven't had a Picard heart fitted yet, then?
No, I've got to wait another 2 months, and hopefully someone will be able to see me properly because they can't whilst we're in COVID.
Someone will be able to give you a seeing to properly.
Yes, that's what she said.
Oh, that's good then. Anyway, so what did you think of it then?
First time I watched it was obviously years and years and years ago, and I really honestly didn't think too much of it back then, which is why when we said we were doing Shalka, and if any of the 5 listeners we have remembered that I was one of the ones going no about it.
I was too.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch it. I was like, oh, not again. I just didn't feel it was quite right. And then obviously I've watched it again now after all these years, and I actually really quite liked it. It was because I think because we had the bite-size options again, and I'm used to watching Doctor Who like that sometimes, and it's just I like the story. The artwork, I hated the artwork. I did not enjoy the cartoon. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like it in the first place. I don't like that stylized kind of animation. Really don't. I find it grating. Yeah, I just don't like it. But this time I just was paying attention to obviously the storyline. Some of the lines were just so good, and it was probably for the first time in a long time one of the good Doctor Who's, because obviously we've watched all the the late old Chris Chibnall era, and it was actually I'd like to see this on properly done, because I think it would.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Might be worth because it's a Paul Cornell story.
It would have worked with Capaldi, definitely. This one,
absolutely, yes.
It just had that whole vibe to me, and it just felt, instead of me coming out to it going, will you stop meowing at me, cat? It's my opinion.
Instead of you saying what? Sorry, that's a strange random thing to say.
Yeah, no, the cats decided of her opinion, very noisily by the microphone. I just found I liked the characters, and every additional character was thought about and had a story, but it wasn't like invasive. It was following the Doctor, and that's what I liked. Yeah. You went away to Alison, but it was very brief, and then you were back with the Doctor. You were following the Doctor, and it just that way it felt to me like a bit of a relief, especially after the New Year's Day offering.
Thank you very much, Debbie. What have we got here? We have Lillian Robbins says, there's more than 5 people watching this video feed. You have more than 5 listeners. And then she says, Infinite Quest was also broken up into lots of short episodes. So
it's been a long-running joke that we've only got 5 listeners. So it's,
no, our listeners are actually on the show. That's not necessarily a running joke. It's actually a fact mostly.
I think you're getting the words joke and facts mixed up there.
Right then, this is the bit that everybody looks forward to.
Yes.
My computer running the jingles really slowly. Yes. Mary, what do you think of it?
Well, I have to say, like last week's or last time's episode, watching this a second time came across better than the first time. Because I'm not a fan of animated things. I don't watch animated shows, and this one, didn't win me over, to animation. Although I think it holds up to what they did with the Macra Terror. So anyway, and I did not like Richard E. Grant portrayed, as a vampire. But the thing is, what I really did not like about it was that the Doctor is so negative. He approaches this whole thing with that awful attitude of, I don't want to be here, I won't do it, whatever it is. And he's so sneering and insulting through this whole thing, which, yes, gave him a lot of good lines, but that isn't a Doctor that I want to follow in any way. I like the Doctor being more positive, upbeat, let's explore, and the only good thing was when he appreciated what he saw as the beauty of the creatures, which is very Doctor Who. But other than that, and I like the Master as a robot companion, and of course he got so many good lines.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
Everybody got good lines, So, and the whole idea that was put forth that the Time Lords were the ones in charge, sending him, to these different places because he just knows, he's going to have to face another crisis. This all came before we got the Doctor's wife, which it was, the TARDIS sensing where the Doctor needed to go, as opposed to but I thought it was an interesting idea at this time in 2003 to think that the Time Lords were the ones sending him everywhere.
They used to do that though, Mary.
Yeah.
It's like Genesis of the Daleks.
I was just going to say that.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean,
there was a third Doctor one which was similar.
Okay.
Colony in Space.
Possibly.
That was one he got sent to.
I think another one, but I can't remember it right now.
Yeah.
If only Kirsty were here, she'd know.
Let Mary continue.
Yes, I agree with Debbie.
I really like the idea put forth in the doctor's wife about, how the TARDIS is the one, that is picking places for him to go. And I do like the music, other than, I got real tired of it by the 10th or 11th time hearing it. Because I like Debbie, I saw it in the little 10-minute segments.
And you can't fast forward it.
That's right. I hope we don't have to do another animated one, because that's not my...
Oh, sorry.
We got at least one more. No, two more.
We have more. We have more animated stuff later on.
I am. By the way, I'm trying to figure out where to fit in Infinite Quest and the other one.
Dreamland.
Yeah, well, don't worry about that at the moment. So, are you done, Mary?
Yes, I'm done.
Thank you very much. Right then, Kirby, so you can stop worrying about the other thing you're looking for. It's time to see if you posted a request for feedback in the usual way. So
let me get there.
Oh, you're not going to try and make it bigger again,
I
are
was
you?
doing some research.
That's quite a loose way of doing the boo.
I was doing some research. By the way, we had a bit of... I had a little bit of interesting feedback on something else that I posted yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Which was fun. I posted a picture of my TV and the DVD case of the animated collection.
All right.
And I said, guess I'll watch it again before tomorrow's podcast. And one of the first... Where'd it go?
I have no idea.
Your Xbox looks a bit battered there.
This does make
that's
excellent
an Xbox
podcasting, doesn't it?
360. We replaced it. I had it there so I could transfer certain games.
Don't divert Kirby from what he was talking about.
Jesus
Why don't I
Christ.
see the comment from the cover art
I've
artist?
no idea.
Friend of the show, by the way.
Yeah.
What was his name?
What, the
Kelly
friend of the show? Have we
Yates.
got any friends?
Yeah, Kelly Yates. Kelly Yates
yeah.
commented on that thread, and I no longer see it. But I had forgotten that he did the cover art. He's been on our podcast before.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Anyway.
Hooray!
Moving on, finally.
16 comments. Oh, boy.
Hopefully.
Debbie Melrose, whoever she is, has a animated GIF of something screaming. Kirsty has a cat with glowing eyes screaming. Lori Nix, when they ask you which doctor you wish you could be a companion to, and you drop this mic. Kirsty says, this does not surprise me in any way. Lori says, the answering machine message alone. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kirsty with a animated GIF of someone with a...
Which doesn't work particularly well on an audio presentation, just like to say.
I'll skip all of those. Robert Wentz Jr.
I got the cat with the electric guitar, though. Oh, that's cool.
It may look cool.
Yeah, but you can't describe it, really. Robert Wentz Jr. says, LOL, couldn't find nails on a chalkboard. And also a picture of the Shalka and the doctor facing each other. Please, how about some breath mints? And now we actually get some real comments.
Thank you, Robert Wentz Jr. Hurrah!
My review of Scream of the Shalka. Okay, let's be real. The Time Lords redirect the TARDIS to Earth so the Doctor could destroy the Shalka. The screaming at the end destroyed them, as well as the black hole. Out of all the things that interest me, not mud packs, mind control zombies, or the grumpy vampire-looking Doctor, or put off responsibility to UNIT to take care of this mess. No, why was the Master an android? I would have enjoyed finding out why his mind was transferred to an android and being forced to travel with the Grant alternative Ninth Doctor. Thank goodness they found RTD and went in a different direction in 2004, because in 2005 we get Rose, which makes this story a footnote in Doctor Who history. The Flash animation was okay for the time. This isn't Flash, though, is it?
It was almost.
Okay, my rating 2.5 out of 5. Looking forward to Rose and the true Ninth Doctor.
Me.
Another picture from him of Robert's DVD. Neil James, Scream of the Shalka. Basically, when I sat down today to watch this, I thought I was going to hate it. I didn't really know what this was. I'd heard of it back in 2003, but I thought it was a computer game, so I never bothered to find out more. But it's actually all right and also really funny. Richard E. Grant and the rest of the cast worked well together. The animation didn't bother me, but the volume of the music and the actual screaming was pretty irritating. Yeah!
Supposed to be, though. That's your point.
Yeah.
For me, the best thing about it was the really wonderful and at times hilarious dialogue. What a huge talent Paul Cornell is. He wrote my favorite story of Noo. I wish he'd done more. Certainly not the snooze fest I was expecting, but ultimately pretty forgettable. 2 stars out of 5.
Yeah, Neil James brings up the music, and that was a bother for me too, particularly with the opening and closing music, because that would blast really loud. I'd be turning my volume down, and then I'd have to jump right on my volume again to turn it way up just to hear them talk. Yeah. So that was annoying.
I was watching it quite late, and it was up, down, up, down.
Yeah. Fred was complaining about the same thing.
Pardon, Ben?
Yes, they pumped up the volume.
For the intro and closing music.
Talk about the volume when you're going on.
That would.
Laurie Nix.
Were you cranking the knob?
Laurie Nix has a link to a short YouTube video from the producers of Carmen Gia's Lift, which I believe is referencing the Lift music.
Oh, right, yes.
It's such a great movie. And Robert Woods Jr. says, "Hello, is it me you're looking for?"
Oh, is that it then, Kirby? Well done.
Yes.
Eventually got through a very short piece and a very long part of time there. I suppose it's a time-travelling show, so that's probably not majorly acceptable, but acceptable to a degree. Right, we've got some more feedback. I've sent Mrs. Melrose some blurb.
Scream of the Shalka. I am one of those who watched its release to the web. I found it a lot better than the earlier story, Death Comes to Time. Paul Cornell wrote this very good story. The BBC tried and failed to stop it from coming to the web. Their reason being they were thinking of bringing out a TV programme called Doctor Who with some... There was a good cast. There was a good cast, and the drawing really looked like the actors. There was Jim Norton, Bishop Brennan from Father Ted, Richard E. Grant reprising his role as Doctor, Derek Jacobi as the Master, forerunner to the Utopia Master, some nipper called David Tennant as the warehouse chap. He might make a good Doctor.
Nah.
Not
at all, no.
Being on the tradition of minor characters in Doctor Who becoming the Doctor.
Indeed.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. The animation was a bit naff, but at least it was Doctor Who. The Shalka were a great idea. Alison looked like she had a Dalek eye stalk on her forehead.
She did.
True. Richard E. Grant played the Doctor very well in The Curse of Fatal Death, but this time he played it very much in the style of the first Doctor, very spiky and self-absorbed.
Yeah, grumpy.
Looking forward to Rose of the Eccleston Doctor, Linda and Terry Miles.
Thank you, Linda and Terry Miles. Right, we have... It's very exciting. We have this bit of audio.
Well, good evening, 20 megabytes, as Andy here. It's just come to 6 o'clock on Sunday evening. I'm about to go and jump in the bath before dinner. I thought I'd do a quick record thing of, about Scream the Shalka. Now, I do remember seeing it a few years ago. I couldn't remember how I'd seen it. So thanks to Alan T. Butcher for suggesting on the website that Facebook, in fact, that I go and look at the 24-hour movement site. That's the one that shall be named.
The 24-hour movement
looked at it and... I now realise why I didn't know much about it, because it just wasn't very good, was it? I mean, it's a noble effort. You're trying to get something of Doctor Who-ish that's original back onto the airwaves, so to speak, and for some of the people to watch and talk about. So from that point of view, it's good. I think the graphics were good for... this is nearly 20 years ago now, this is May, wasn't it? So I think from that point of view, it was good. Richard E. Grant, I think Doctor that was a combination of perhaps Hartnell's, won't suffer fools, and Pertwee's almost aloofness, it was quite good. And of course, he did prop up with the Curse of Fatal Death. I wonder whether that was inspired by it or anything like that. But it was interesting, and I think he has got the look to make a good Doctor. Just the way he's the contours of his face make him very sharp. Do actually, I think, make him very good. I'm hoping this is still recording, because it seems to have stopped. But I'm going to keep going regardless. What else? Well, it's obviously still keep going because it's just suddenly sprung back into life again. Black Companion, that's the. I'm pretty sure that's the first. I'm sure that's not a non-PC thing, but it's it's good to see. Yeah, I think you know what I'm trying to say, and it's not coming out very well. But I think it's. Yeah, I think I'll let that one go. Adam, if you're already there, please do so. You had the boyfriend who was a bit adrift. There was a doctor who didn't understand what he's kind of doing. In the pub, there was he looked like kind of Geoffrey Hughes, didn't he? I thought. I wonder. The voice wasn't quite the same. The two military we saw both had actually no hair, and I thought they were going to be voiced by Nick Briggs. So I thought definitely a physical resemblance there as well. Just into the storyline, I still really can't understand what it's all about, what the Screamer's meant to do. It had shades of the Midwich Cuckoos, in fact, in the way that there were different ones around the world. I did wonder whether it's going to be something to do with GPS points and satellites and something like that. They were strategic position, but that didn't come to anything. I mean, having lived in Lancashire for a while, I do know that Lancashire is not the most exciting of places. Apologies to any Lancastrians. I actually lived in Manchester. But I suppose, it's in a typical rural, small rural place that not many people know about it. The Master, what was the Master actually doing? Again, it's always like they were setting it to go on to something else. It never happened because it's, I just couldn't understand what he was doing there and why he was there and what he was meant to achieve. So it was all a good idea. It just didn't seem to want to go anywhere. Yeah. And I suppose at the end of the day, the best thing I could say is, I got my ironing done. Be seeing you.
Thank you, Andy. That was Andy Nunny, everybody.
Andy.
Right. We got this. Hang on. I was so engrossed in Andy's feedback that I didn't prep the next bit. So that's never happened before, is it?
That's so unprofessional.
Hello, 20 Megabyte Podcast. This is Ian Kirk.
Hello, Ian.
The Timeless Children Part 2 went out on the 1st of March 2020,
yes.
And Revolution of the Daleks went out on 1st of January 2021.
Yes.
In that, the TARDIS crew has not seen the Doctor for 10 months. Sort of like real time. The Scream of the Shalka by Paul Cornell. In a Lancashire village, people are allowed out to go to work, but they mostly huddle at home. That seems to be predicting lockdown, Tier 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people of Earth have not looked after the atmosphere of their planet, so the Shalka have arrived to finish them off by making the atmosphere even more toxic. That can be done by making people scream. Makes me wonder how people survived Beatlemania. The characters all seem to have different British regional accents. The young man had Lancashire, his girlfriend London, the junior soldier Irish, the senior home counties. I did not like the style of animation, especially the Doctor's face. I did not like the heavy-handed environmental message.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Bye, Ian. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ian.
Yes.
Master?
Yes.
I found where the comments from Kelly Yates were. They were on a different place where I put the picture, but there's a couple of interesting things there.
Well, go on then.
We'll be the judge of that.
I commented, I'd forgotten that he had done the cover art for this DVD, and I said I knew there was something familiar about that cover art, and he responds, haha, yes, I worked directly with the BBC on that one. I designed 2 concepts for the cover, and they liked them both, so they decided to use one of them for the back art. It was a really cool project to be involved with. And then there's a comment from someone named Matthew Kressel, or Kressel, or something. He's asking Kelly, something I've been curious about. Was there any talk of including the Richard E. Grant Doctor from Scream of the Shalka on there, or it was the brief always just the official doctors? Kelly said, yes, this was a couple of discussions about including the grant doctor, but it was ultimately decided by the BBC to not include.
Oh, is that it?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you for that. Something brief from Kirby. That's got to be worth one of these.
Yeah, really?
Hang on. Where's it gone?
Oh.
It's something of actual interest, too.
Yeah. Well,
I knew that you guys would be interested in that. I just couldn't find it.
oh, I think it deserves one of these.
That's one thing I've really missed about doing this podcast over the last couple of years, Alan, is the fact that you are as slick as porridge.
But Ben appeared to be stranded out by a load of fireworks there. Sorry, Ben, what were you saying?
That one hit me.
Said something about... Sorry.
I've really missed about doing the podcast for the last couple of years, is that you are as slick as porridge.
Well, I'm normally a bit slicker than that, but I was just expecting...
Right, here's a jingle coming up. I'm just giving you 20 seconds.
No. The first time, this doesn't normally happen. No.
Wrong button. Sorry, everyone. Let's try again.
It doesn't normally happen. It just happened this week because I got so engrossed in what else happened in the previous. And that one, I didn't expect Kirby to finish so early, so I wasn't quite ready for him. I was expecting it to...
You've got to have your fingers ready, Adam. That's the thing, mate. You've got to have your fingers ready. That's the thing you learn when you're...
That's what she said. But anyway,
yeah.
Robert Vance Jr. says the mutatons the Doctor delivered the black box.
Mutants.
What?
The mutants.
It says mutatons.
Well, I'm not seeing that, but it's referring to the mutants.
Oh, okay. You've been corrected, Robert. Sorry about that. That's Kirby again. Right, that's Mr. K. Bartlett's... Oh, yeah, I'll send the address over to you privately. Right then. So, Mary Lang has some blurb.
Oh, from Alan Butcher.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear this one.
That's what she said. Oh, sorry, that's a didn't quite fit that, does it?
He it with Nail and Shalka, or the Doily Carte. Dear 20 megabytes.
Doily Carte.
Doily Carte, okay. That's an opera company, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what the reference is to.
Okay. I just never had to say it. I've seen it, but never said it.
Take no notice of him.
Then he says, Scream of the Shalka is, of course, a closely studied exploration of the phenomena of political control leading to self-harming adherence to a political force against your own interests. The Shalka exhibit both the control method of subjecting people by dividing them from each other with fear and by getting into some of their heads to get them in their thrall to join an action to support them in active insurrection.
Does he follow up with just like Boris Johnson? Sorry, Alan, I love you, man.
Their employment of sound to control and cause damage is an obvious parallel to the use of political rhetoric to exert such outcomes. The Doctor defeats them by turning their own methods against them. It should be noted that whilst some may be critical of the relatively primitive animation of this story, like most budget-related production issues, this is in fact not a major drag on the delivery of the story here, and visually it compares favorably to what was done over 10 years later with the 10th Doctor.
Yeah.
We also learned that in this alternative universe, the Doctor looked and sounded very much like the chap who was involved with the Great Intelligence in the Victorian era. So you got to wonder why that is. Also, War Master somehow got shifted to this strange bubble universe, only to get stuck in a robot body. All in all, Scream of the Shalka is a reasonably decent story, which was not brilliantly produced and had some strange but perhaps intriguing features. The acting, whilst in general very good, is badly let down by the poorly assembled audio, which does leave the performances seeming more stilted than they needed to be. Richard E. Grant's Doctor seems to have potential, and it is frustrating that his many asides and allusions to trauma were not elucidated further through more stories. The degree to which... The degree to which the Doctor becomes infatuated with Allison so quickly jars a little, but again maybe would have been interestingly contextualized by further adventures. The Master in robot form is a strange aspect of this story, which it probably would also have been interesting to hear more about. As it stands, however, it seems like a convenient and very much unearned plot contrivance within this story. I'm left unsure whether this was a good thing that this project was quickly overcome by the successful return to TV, as it did mean this is not therefore seen as its best as an orphaned cul-de-sac. It may be if it had happened earlier, we might have had something worth having. This story is perhaps a season at least too short. It almost certainly would seem more satisfying and worthwhile if it had developed further and they had in fact reached Bonger Regis. Next up, Doctor Who and his defeat by the Nestines, or the companion that rose to the occasion.
Very good, sir.
Yeah.
Very good.
Those are my thoughts, Ellen T. Butcher.
And luckily, I watched that about 2 weeks ago, so I'm happy.
Well, you watched Rose?
Watching all these new Who episodes ahead of the
Yeah, Isla's been working her way through them all, and she's absolutely loving it.
Good.
I've got so many. I've got 2 different ways to watch them. It's gonna
She
be
just finished Donna.
Does she?
She's
Lucky
John.
Donna.
Yeah, Dr. Donna.
Can I just say?
You're going to start losing interest now.
Was there not some feedback from Kirsty?
It's on the messenger.
Chat.
I can't find it.
Just scroll up, and it's
each other.
Oh, all right, here it is. Scream of the what's his name? It says. Let's see
yeah.
what happens. See if it plays.
Remember the thingy.
Hang on, it says
It'll take you
Dropbox.
to Dropbox,
Oh, here we are.
and you can play it from.
Here we go.
From
Hello,
Dropbox.
20 megabyters. It's Kirsty here. Phoning in my review for Scream of the Shalka. It's all right. The animation, everything, the voice work, everything's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I didn't like the design of the Doctor. It makes him look like a villain, to be honest. I'm like, there's the Master. Who's the other bad guy? And so, yeah, yeah. But I like the Doctor. I like what they did with it. I love the ideas, which, of course, have been picked up in the new series of Doctor Who. New Who. Like the idea of the Master and the Doctor kind of cruising the galaxy together. You know, Russell picked up on that and used that kind of motif in the new series. And, yeah, it's great. It's fine. It's not great. It's fine. But I actually found the extras that came along with this. If you've got the whole thing with the DVD extras, not Blu-ray, I don't think. I don't know. Is there a Blu-ray? Have we been talking about a Blu-ray? I don't have the Blu-ray.
Hope not.
Anyway, the extras I thought were actually more fascinating. Just the work that they had to go through to put this together and get it out there, and then what happened right after, basically the new series came out. And, they had actually done some, according to the extras, some legwork for the BBC in making sure that the rights were clear. And once they knew that was a go-ahead. And the other wonderful thing I found out through the extras is that David Tennant makes an appearance in it.
We've already spoken about that.
Kirby's probably already mentioned that.
Oh, yeah.
Because we played after that. And so, but I recorded this before Kirby said it, so it counts, right?
Yep.
Ding!
Yep.
All right.
I knew
That's
about
me
it
done.
years ago.
Scream of the Shalka was okay. Glad I've seen it now, and and learned the history about it. But aside from that, it's fun. And actually, I didn't have a quote.
Yes, you
I
didn't.
Forgot one.
Oh dear.
Well.
So did I.
Toodles.
Yes. Goodbye.
Yeah, Toodles sucks as a sign-off as well.
Careful how you say sucks. It sounds a bit odd. But anyway, thank you very much, Kirsty. Right. That's completes feedback. No one said anything more on the live feed, which is good. That means I can move on to news. Now, before I actually open up the news page, I can tell you, hopefully, if I can get my tongue sorted out, that apparently, as reported by 2 national tabloids, Jodie Whittaker is not going to be playing the Doctor after this next series. I'm not going to play the Hallelujah music, but I can
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
As I recall,
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
You're all right, that'll do, thank you.
I'll carry on if you want.
I remember that it was said last year that she wasn't going to continue, and Chris Chibnall wasn't going to, but they both got talked into doing one more year. So we all knew that this was going to be the last year.
Do that. The hell would do that.
Well, I'm going to talk about it to a certain degree because there's no other Doctor Who news, because the page I'm looking at now is exactly the same page that was on last week. So there, it looked quite convincing, especially when it popped up on 2 news feeds, but it's never popped up on the BBC one. I think I have a hunch that they will announce it at some point.
Wow, that's a stab in the dark, Adam.
No, I'm talking about her leaving.
At some point they'll announce she's leaving.
What I actually meant was at some point soon, or maybe they'll wait until they've got some trailers to run for the new series, and then they'll
wait until they've got the new Doctor, like they'll always like they always do.
Unless that's who the new Doctor's called Dan or something, and it's played by some tall scouse bloke. And that's another thing we glossed over when we talked about John Bishop joining the crew. That Mary was particularly delighted because apparently, and I can't verify this or not, but apparently he's quite hot.
He is.
Yeah, he looks pretty interesting. He looks fit.
He's nice. He's got a nice face.
He's got a nice face if you're a plasterer.
Ben has an issue with Mr. Bishop because he's a Liverpool fan.
I had to stop what I was saying because my husband was looking at me.
Hey, does it say that he's joining the crew, or does he say?
No, don't be naughty, Ben. Ben, stop it.
No,
the crew, as in Doctor Who. The team that's inside the TARDIS, the Doctor, you won't know this because you don't watch it, calls the fam. But yes.
Does it say that, does it?
Right.
It absolutely definitely says that he's joining that and not... Because I saw he was joining Doctor Who.
All right, that's what he is joining. Stop being naughty. Stop being naughty. He is joining the Doctor. Anyway, right, so...
sure?
What I'm trying to allude to is that I think the BBC are a bit put out that it's been leaked into the Mirror and the Sun. I think that's the 2 papers that did it. So they're just trying to think they can wait for the dust to settle. But trouble is, all you see now going around the internet is people's suggestions of who the next Doctor might be. Today, I saw that the chap that was in the IT.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Rich Diardi.
It's the top vote getter.
Yeah, the one with the Buffon afro and the glasses and the sort of tweed jacket.
Absolutely the best choice. He'd be absolutely fantastic.
He'd be absolutely brilliant.
But he
really
good.
Yeah. Richard
Problem is, Crystal Maze.
Crystal Maze?
He does the new Crystal Maze.
Does he?
Yeah.
I mentioned that to my youngest daughter. And she said that would bring her back to watching Doctor Who.
Absolutely, it would me too, totally.
That means it probably won't be happening then.
No. If you're going to have a little flutter on it, he was one of the favourites before Jodie Whittaker got it. And obviously Whittaker only got it for PC reasons. So therefore you go back to source, and that's going to be Richard Diardi, so it will be him.
Oh, it'll be good if it is. I can't deny that.
Oh, it'll be brilliant.
No, absolutely.
If you get Russell T Davies back to write them.
You know what the trouble is, that's the thing, if he does come back and then Chibnall's still at the helm, it'll be a bit of a letdown in some ways. But
they can do anything about that at the BBC, aren't they? It is clearly not working particularly well. There's lots of people saying it's crap, and obviously, they can't listen to everything because there's Auntie Beeb. But if enough people are saying it, they've got to listen to it and go, hold on a minute. We can't use this ratings being watched on Netflix and whatever streaming services instead of watching it live forever, because it just doesn't wash anymore.
But I think if they get a decent writer in as the showrunner, to appease everybody who still feels that the Doctor is okay in regards to the canon side of things, they could also then appease the people who didn't want the Doctor ever to be female, and write it in a way that both people are happy. So
Could
there's a bit
I just
of a doubt.
throw something out there, Adam?
Pardon?
Now, you've just said something very interesting there. You've said, why don't they get a good writer to be the showrunner? But
not that.
The thing is, does that work?
No. I
Because
mean,
in the recent history, it
a lead.
doesn't.
They always have a lead writer, don't they? It's usually a script editor.
Yes, but as soon as Moffat became the lead writer, you know, he lost his momentum with the really good episodes.
That's what I'm saying.
When he was the guest
writer.
writer.
He's not good as a showrunner. He's just
So what you're saying? They have got several.
Yeah,
but they have got several producers. One of which is usually the chief writer. This is like a team of producers. So what you're saying is, away with the team of producers. Have a producer who yay or nays the scripts that come in for it, and like a head writer that just edits. No, like a script editor, funny enough, edits the scripts that come in and do it that way. But I still think it's going to be very similar to the way they're doing it now. I just think that's the way they're doing it, to be fair. They're always going to do it that way. I can't vouch for any other shows.
Yeah, that's exactly why. They'll just carry on doing it the way they're doing it.
But
you know.
But they could still do it successfully as long, if they had a better, not as sort of so self-absorbed
How about
showrunner.
somebody who's not a fan?
No.
Yeah, that's actually a very good idea.
I'm not sure that'll
this is
work.
where it's gone wrong, I think.
Yeah,
it's the fact that they've
what I
let fans run it for too long, and so therefore they've gone too deep into stuff that, quite frankly, people who aren't big fans but just casual viewers don't care about.
I'm not sure that would work. I think you have to have a bit of a knowledge, an understanding about.
You can always have an advisor, not like an Ian Levine advisor, but an advisor who can say, well, we've done a story about that, you can't sort of do that. That kind of stuff, not guiding the shows to say, oh, I think you should have the Cybermen back this year.
Maybe they could have as maybe a producer that isn't a fan that can assess a story as to just whether it's a really, really good story. Because what we're always getting, aren't we? We've always moaned about this, even in the Eccleston era, not so much, but you get the dip stories, the duffers. And when you get Doctor Who being a series that would have lots and lots of really good scripts coming in, I've always wondered how they can let the duffers get in and get made and get put out on screen. There should be enough really, really good stories going around there to make the whole series really good.
Yeah.
Could it be an issue, the fact that, as we've said, once they get the lead writer to go up to be showrunner, would it not be better to get someone in who is just a good? I mean, obviously they did this with Chris Chibnall, I suppose, but he wrote Doctor Who as well as doing Broadchurch, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it's a case of he already had experience of writing Doctor Who. Maybe get someone in who hasn't written Doctor Who, who's just a good writer of a TV show, Grange Hill, or Rhubarb and Custard. Someone who writes something or The Good Life.
I'm not sure they haven't done that,
really
though. I think
quality scripts. EastEnders, maybe.
I'm not sure. But I'm not sure some of the duffers we've had in the last 3 series have not been written by people who aren't Doctor Who fans. Because if you look back to the RTD era, most of the series was written by Doctor Who fans, and they're really, really good.
But would they get through quality control if you didn't have a passion for a certain subject or story to do with Doctor Who? If it was just a case of, is it a good story or not, regardless if it's to do with Doctor Who, then a writer who's got no knowledge of Doctor Who would be able to tell you that better than a Chibnall or a Moffat, who have both had the experience of writing and then get involved in it too much and then might think everything's brilliant. Because if you get too close to it, everything's brilliant.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Can I mention something?
Yeah, I'd love you to.
Something that I've read. Yeah.
I'll stop talking now. I've now stopped talking. That was the final thing I was going to say. You may now start. I have finished. Go ahead.
Have spoken.
Up to you. The floor is yours. Anytime you like. Take it away. Waiting for a response.
You have to say over, Ben.
Over, Ben.
Chris,
thanks, I just snorted cola. Thank you very much.
You've just snorted Coke live on the That's funny, because I've been sitting there hitting up heroin for the last 3 hours.
Cherry Coke, thank you very much.
Yeah, Chris Chibnall wrote recently, he mentioned that we've got to have a story about mental health, because mental health is a current topic that we need to deal with. I'm thinking, why the hell? I mean, could you imagine back in the 70s, them having an episode about mental health? For what reason?
There've already been 2 stories about mental health.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. They're just doing the PC thing again.
But exactly.
It should be turned away from it.
Yeah, it's a social warrior mindset that gets in the way of good writing.
Yeah, and also I've always said that
a story about Doctor Who going back to the BBC in the 70s and warning everyone under 13 about Jimmy Savile. I mean, you can't do
Good one, very good.
Yes, but I've always said that Doctor Who is a departure from the worries of a normal life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We were discussing this obviously last season, when we were addressing absolutely every PC thing going, and it was just
Series.
like, whatever.
That's why I've turned off, though. That's why I haven't watched it, because the stories have just become so,
You get lectured to.
Yeah, I don't want that. I want to be, Doctor Who being chased by Cybermen, not going, we will delete
you want to escape.
unless
you want to escape from world issues.
Yes,
other than the world being blown up or destroyed by some group of enemies, which I'd rather we'd step away from Earth again, because we have now got so far into Earth that I don't know how they're going to get it back out.
It's gone series the Third Doctor again, isn't it? It's gone. It's almost stuck on Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, in an ideal world, what we would I personally would love, and it is sort of going astray a little bit, especially with Trip Chibnall, is that if they could persuade RTD to come back to just steady the ship for a couple of series.
Like Barry Letts did towards the end of the...
and just to steady the ship.
That worked well then.
No, not Barry Letts did all right. And then bring in somebody who can take over in the same fashion and not go all Moffat-y.
You want someone, who he can train up effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not going to happen, is it?
Apprentice. There is always two, the master of the
Anyway, that was very interesting.
Mixing my genres there.
Yeah.
What a very interesting conversation. Right then, so next week. Next week, we're going to be discussing a story called Rose.
What about whowon.co.uk?
Oh, we don't have to do it every week.
Yeah.
I have to say it every week.
No, you don't.
I just did.
Whowon.co.uk.
Whowon.co.uk.
There are other sponsors, but we're not mentioning them specifically this week. They get mentioned at the beginning of every blooming show, for goodness sake. Right then. So next week we'll be discussing a Doctor Who story called Rose. And
what's it called?
Which got me thinking, having watched a few series.
Apparently.
Rose, yeah. So
it's the island in Greece.
I can't understand, Master.
What? I said Rose.
Everyone's talking over you.
Don't matter, I've got the master recording here, so my voice will always come out.
Weird.
You're a bit grumpy this week, Kirby. Anyway, let me
start over, because I did not understand a thing you said.
We're doing Rose next week.
Yeah, that's essentially what I said.
I lost you from hello.
Hello, welcome to the 20 Megabyte podcast.
Yeah. And this week, where we were in isolation, so that we were watching lots and lots of things via streaming services. Obviously, Star Trek Discovery came to an end, and hopefully not a permanent one, because it was very, very good. We obviously Mandalorian.
Doing season 4.
That Mandalorian finished, and there's a new series starting out on Disney Plus called WandaVision. Very, very looking forward to that.
Forward to that, yes.
Imminent. And so there's lots of good stuff. There's a good load of stuff coming through on Netflix, some good series. There's one that Ben I like about swear words. That was quite interesting.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, I love that.
I haven't watched the whole series yet, but it was quite good fun.
I found it a load of rubbish.
There's a brilliant thing about life after death. Well, I've watched the first episode of that. It's very gripping and fascinating. And
people die in it.
Pardon?
Do the people die in it?
Well, they die, but not permanently. They come back to life. Hence, Near-death experiences. Near-death experiences. That's what it's about. Sorry, I got a bit mixed up there. We also watched a film called Tag.
Sword.
Pardon?
Oh, yeah. Is that
Okay.
good?
I can hear you wetting something. It's
Me?
weird.
Wetting something.
Whetstone. He's sharpening some of our Sharpie things.
Okay.
We've
Yes.
got a lot of stabby and cutty things in the house.
Stabby and gutty things.
Terrible.
Normally called
That's
nice.
what she said.
We watched a film called Tag, which was quite good fun, and based on or inspired by a true story as well. And the other thing I watched for the first time, we watched it was the day before yesterday, a film called Deadpool, which was hilariously funny, I have to say. Deb was watching it with a
Deadpool.
Deadpool. Deadpool. It's a Marvel movie.
Deadpool's great.
It's funny. Oh my goodness, so funny. Because I did watch also the Harley Quinn movies. The Suicide Squad and
I didn't rate
Birds of Prey.
those.
Birds of Prey is better than Suicide Squad in my view, but Deadpool, which I think is the same sort of comedy element, but Deadpool's hilarious.
The second one's good as well.
There is a number 2 out.
Well, I'm sorry about that. Is that a problem?
It's like you telling me off for spoilers for Austin Powers 2.
Well, that's why I come late, so I'm not going to spoil anybody. That sounds a bit rude, actually. I'm come late to Deadpool. So I'm not going to.
He said.
That's what Deb says, the wrong way up. What?
But Deb was watching Deadpool and sort of watching all the various gratuitous comedy violence going on, and thinking, oh, I don't like it, She liked the comedy, but she didn't like the comedy violence in it. But, yeah, very, very, very funny.
That's most of the movie.
Yes, it is, but it's so over the top funny that you sort of accept it, But yeah, good stuff.
We've started watching on HBO Max. They put there in January the Batman the Animated Series.
Yes.
Which I'd never seen before. My youngest daughter had, but my oldest daughter had not.
Does Adam West do the voice?
No.
Oh.
No, it's more in the 1989 movie type.
Oh, okay. There's another set. You reminded me of something else. There's another film about. I don't know where I watched it now. It's about the growth of.
That's what she said.
The growth of comics, basically. The growth of the comic genre from start to finish, and right the way up to the movies from DC and from Marvel.
Graphic novels, Dick.
Pardon?
Graphic novels.
No, it's I can't remember what it's called, but it's a 2-hour film, and it's really, really good. And I can't remember where I blimmin' saw it now, so I do apologise.
On the YouTube thing.
Sorry.
That
I've got an issue with Netflix.
What it means to live like an emperor.
There we go. I closed the window down. I haven't got an issue with Netflix now. Carry on.
I think you're talking about.
YouTube.
See, I didn't have it up in front of me so I'm gonna have to search for it.
Oh, if you get it.
Keep talking and I'll find it.
Oh, blimey, Ben, say something funny, and don't just say the words "something funny," because that won't be funny.
You're talking. Okay, I found it.
Sorry, Ben.
Kirby.
Okay.
Something funny.
Right, here comes my Netflix.
On Watch Mojo. It's called How Geek Culture Became Pop Culture. Is that what you're talking about?
One day.
Oh, what's going on? Oh, yeah. I'm just shutting up Netflix. Carry on.
Did you hear me?
No.
Yes.
I didn't.
I think you're talking about a thing on YouTube from Watch Mojo called How Geek Culture Became Pop Culture.
No? I don't know. I think I might have watched it on Prime. I can't remember who I watched it now. You've got me.
Oh, because okay. I'd like to know what you're talking about. You might want to look at these. These are little short 10-minute things, which are.
No, this is a 2-hour movie.
Oh well. Find it. I'm interested.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
You're going to find it.
Yeah, so the history of... We've been watching Staged again, because I stopped watching it, and the episodes have got Samuel L. Jackson in. It's absolutely hilarious. Just like to say, to get Staged.
Yeah.
We've been watching a Canadian comedy drama thing called The Doyle Republic, or The Republic of Doyle.
Yes.
It's on Netflix, 6 series. I should really have known the title by the time I finished watching the 6 series. Still didn't. But that was quite amusing. I think the wife liked it because it had some hunky, dark-haired Canadian bloke in it.
Oh.
She was sitting next to a fat English bloke while watching it. So, you know.
Yeah, my wife's used to that scenario.
Oh, I know. I've seen photos of you. I've also watched Space Force on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I watched a bit of that and then we got bored of it.
Did you? I thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
Spaceballs is terrific.
Bridgerton has been watched by She Who Must Be Obeyed. She thoroughly enjoyed that. I'm not going to talk about it because I haven't seen it. I've got some stuff in my list to watch. There's something called The Battered Bastards of Baseball. That looks like a really good film.
Have you watched The Crown yet? Series 4?
And Death to 2020, which I haven't watched yet. Yes?
Kirsty just asked me, how much longer are you going? I'm in the car now.
I get asked that a lot by ladies. Well, I used to at least.
And the answer is, well, I've already finished. Twice.
She's in the car now, as in she's going from A to B. We'll be finished by the time she gets home, won't we? What do you think,
tell
Kirby?
her that.
To ask her how long she's got to go to get home. She could come on and say, do what they used to do with Des O'Connor. Say, right, okay, what would you like to say? And then cut the thing off. You know, Morecambe and Wise used to do that with Des O'Connor. They say, right, okay, now you can sing, Des. And as soon as he opened his mouth, they ended the episode. All right.
Okay, I've asked her. She has not read the...
She's driving, Kirby.
She's driving. She's being insensible. Come on, Ben.
Imagine that. We used to say that.
All we know is that she's in the car. She may not necessarily be driving.
Okay, well, don't you remember we had the issues, we used to worry about Dr. Phil when he used to send his feedback in that he was recording while driving.
I miss his feedback.
I miss his feedback too. He got bored of the show, probably got bored of me trying to move the show onto the different next section, and somebody, I can't remember.
I heard he had a car accident. Sorry, I do hope that's not true.
Well, you never know. I think he has. I've seen the odd thing from him, so I think he's still with us.
Okay, she says, I have to pick up groceries first, but I can call from the car. I said, we're almost done, but you could join us. So why don't you add her in?
Is she connected to the Skype media at the moment? Ow, my blooming foot. No, you're not answering me, so I guess that... Oh, hang on, I found the button I was looking for. Right, okay, I'll try and connect her to us. That sounds really rude.
Okay, I've asked her.
Okay, what's her name again? Kirsty Bissett. There she is. And there we go.
Okay.
I am dialing, said Bissett.
But she's not going to be very happy if we've practically finished the whole episode.
And she might want to say something else. I don't know. Maybe she just wants to out pedant.
Say hi. Maybe she's got a quote.
No, Adam.
Yeah.
What you got to do? Phone her up, say hello, and then end the episode.
And that's
No,
that was my idea.
we've done that before.
Just say goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching. And then go.
We used to do that with Kirby. Thank you, listeners. So goodbye.
Get someone to turn the power off in your house.
Oh dear. Well, look, the viewership's dropping rapidly as we speak. I can't think what we watched.
I don't want you to kill Kirsty.
Hey, I wasn't saying murder anyone.
No, saying if she's frantically looking for someone to pull over or something.
Yeah.
No, I don't think she wears pullovers.
Seriously, Adam.
Yeah.
No.
Jokes
are not your forte.
Oh dear. I can't see what I watched now. Maybe it was on Disney Plus.
Alzheimer's.
Sorry, Kirby, I don't know what it was. It was very good though.
Was
Well,
it
if you
Frozen
remember,
2?
let me know.
You name it what?
If you remember what that thing was,
Yeah.
send it.
I'll
Send
let
me.
everybody know if I can remember what it
Let
was.
me know too.
You want some vino? Or just go into your wine cabinet. It's a strange thing to...
I don't like wine.
Oh, okay. No, I can't see it. I've got a whole list of stuff on
I guess we are going to have to
Amazon.
stop before she can join us.
It's certainly looking that way. No, I can't find it. That's so annoying. Unless I know it might have been on Sky actually. I know what it was. It was on Sky. Bad luck. It was on
What was it called?
Sky Documentaries. What was it called?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that means I've got to turn the telly on now.
Oh, for goodness sake, this is so slick.
Susan, Frozen, Rosin, Rick Rassley.
We just want to know, don't we, Kirby?
Yes.
It might not be to see it for where you are.
I have ways.
Have you
We
now?
have ways.
Yes, no, you've got funny ways.
Adam,
Yes.
I was nearly on telly the other day.
What do you mean nearly on telly? Why did you nearly go on that superb game show, The Wheel?
No. They nearly unmasked me in the Masked Singer. No, what it is, right? I was watching a documentary on one of the greatest comedians of all time, Mr. Bob Monkhouse. And,
Yes, I've got that one. I've got that one in my queue.
It's really good. What have you? Oh, right, okay. Because in it, they're doing a run through his life, and they show like clips from one of the stand-up gigs that he did at the Lakeside Country Club in Frimley Green, which is very near me, and I was at that gig at the front of the stage, at the front table at the stage, and we had a camera stuck in our face for the whole gig, recording us laughing. Yeah. And so we're cut into this video, loads. There was me, my girlfriend at the time, my mate, and his, well, he took some girl from some pop band. I don't know who they were. Anyway, there was 4 of us on a table, and every now and again you got a cutaway of us laughing at this Bob Monkhouse. And the clip that they showed on telly, you could see my girlfriend at the time, my mate, and my arm. So I was nearly on telly.
Right, the thing's called Rise of the Superheroes. That's what the documentary film's called. It's absolutely superb. Really, really good.
Have I ever told you the story about the suit I was wearing that night, Adam?
No, you haven't.
Okay, Kirsty says,
what?
I can't get a strong enough signal, I guess.
Okay. Well,
so I guess we'll just have to skip.
Tell Kirsty she can come on next week and we'll do Rose, but not in the biblical sense.
I dreamt about that many times.
I'm excited.
I was more of a dreaming about Karen Gillan, to be fair. And so was Reese.
Is it the bald head that does it for you?
I don't think Karen. What? Oh, you. Oh, God.
Too.
Anyway,
and I think Kirsty's involved in the play next week too. I think
tell her not to be. Tell her to give up her thespian antics.
What do you mean, Adam? Everyone's allowed to do other things.
Oh, are they now? I don't think that's true. Do you think that's right, Ben?
The thing is that not only is Kirsty involved with the play, so is Mary and Matthew.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're not.
Mary and Matthew are both providing voices for that play.
Yeah, Kirby, he was making a joke.
Who was making a joke? Kirby was making a joke.
No, Ben.
I was going to say that would have been an extraordinary event in the show.
Oh no, they're not. Oh yes.
I heard that one.
That would have been about as unusual as Adam making a joke.
Okay, so no, she's not going to be able to join us next week.
Not good enough, is it, really, to be fair?
Cast party after the play.
Yep.
Okay, well.
What about social distancing? You not follow that over there?
They're all going to stand against the walls, and raise a toast.
What kind of party is this?
I've asked her to take a picture of the program book for the play so we can see both of those names.
And,
you could just write it on a bit of paper.
Changing the subject slightly before we go. When they did that raiding the Capitol thing in that United States place, I saw the mention of it in the news. No. I saw the mention of it. Be quiet. Saw the mention of it.
Have I got news for you on the phone? They want you to host an expedition due to your knowledge of stuff.
Be quiet. Anyway, it said about the Capitol. There was a photograph of somebody with his feet up playing on his phone while sat in this main chair in the Capitol. And it got me thinking of Patrick Troughton as the second Doctor, or I think it might have been the 5 Doctors going, call in the Capitol, call in the Capitol. Just saying. Sorry, I wish I hadn't bothered now.
Kirby, have you got a joke?
It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke.
Oh, good.
However, I have got several jokes, actually. But I don't know if I should. With Ben on, it's probably a bit dangerous to try and...
They're that funny, are they?
No. Well, there might be a funny one here if I'm very careful. No, that's not very funny. Here's one. Right. This will go over the Americans' heads, but I'll do it anyway. It's been revealed that Alison Hammond has a bit of a crush on Philip Schofield, but he was okay after she moved to another chair.
Have you seen the sides of it? Yeah. Sorry.
Well, I thought it was funny. Anyway, next time we'll be not doing Rose. Sorry, we're reviewing Rose, and I don't know who's going to be on the show.
Me.
Probably Will.
Will?
I
Who's Will?
be because I'm having an
Will?
operation.
I said Isla probably will.
Isla will?
Probably.
I'll tell you what. Right, before I go, somebody described me as something a few weeks ago, which I didn't really appreciate, but I somehow think you, being mean as you lot are, would do. I was described by my manager as that I looked like an albino Buddha. No, thanks for laughing at that one.
That's so cruel, Adam.
Well, I didn't say it was my anyway.
I know, it's your boss. You should walk in tomorrow and smash him in the face with a chair.
Anyway, until next time, thank you for listening, watching, and taking part in the show. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Fancy Pants.
Scarecrow.
Goodbye, lovers.
The 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production sponsored by whowon.co.uk and lavazi.co.uk. We are a proud member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended.
Right.
Fancy a biscuit?
I don't know how much trouble I'm in, to be fair. It's playing it. Hang on, I've got problems.
I can watch Rise of the Superheroes on Prime.
What's happened there? Post your video to the group. Right, I'm pressing the share button. Sorry, that was just coming through the Bluetooth speaker through my phone to the speaker. Don't worry, we're not recording anymore. Right.
Rise of the Superheroes is on Prime Video and on Pluto TV.
I'm sure it would probably been more useful for you to say that while we were still recording the show, Kirby.
I just found I didn't have time to do the research.
Adam, did you say we're not recording anymore so we can revert to our usual voices?
Lovely.
Well, it's been joyous this evening. I'd love to say I've had a lovely time.
I've got to turn the telly off.
Oh my God.
Right, anyway, I'm going to go because I'm pretty sure I'm in trouble. I'm pretty sure I'm in trouble, so
Why are you in trouble, Adam?
Well, Deb asked that very awkward question that I can never give her an exact answer to. How long are you going to be on doing the podcast tonight? And I said, well, I don't really like it to go longer than 2 hours, but it would. I said it's not a very long thing.
Less than 2 hours.
You never say it's not a very long story.
Then I did say to her, but whenever I've said that, it's ended up going over 2 hours.
Adam, blame it on me, because it's entirely my fault.
Yeah, I'm sure that's really going to work. Never mind.
That's also another reason why we shouldn't do 2 stories at a time.
Yeah, because you're on the show, Kirby. I'll tell you what.
And I can't join next week because I'll be in hospital in the morning.
Oh, sweetheart.
Well,
you're
all the
very,
very
cyberized,
best.
Right?
Yeah, I'm getting upgraded.
Delete.
At least send me some feedback.
Delete.
Well, hopefully everything will go all right for you, Robert. I'm sure you'll keep us updated, won't you?